I just want to start by thanking everyone for coming today. And I also want to thank a few organisations who, without their help today, wouldn't be possible. Those organisations are Women Won't Wish and Glasgow Tactical Feminists. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Suzanne, who co-organised this event today, so if you give her a big round of applause, that would be great. We organised this and wanted it to be non-political and open and accessible to all parents and those with concerns. I'd like to urge everyone not to engage with the characters over there. They are protesting an event about child safeguarding. I think that sort of speaks volumes. We have fantastic speakers today with a wealth of knowledge. I hope that everyone can gain a better or a wider knowledge of some of the issues we're currently facing in Scottish education. Firstly, I'm going to discuss some of the key issues with the third sector organisations that are funded by the Scottish Government, and then we'll have expert speakers. So we've all heard of these organisations currently influencing Scottish schools. LGBT Youth Scotland and TIE are amongst the most insidious of them. A brief backstory of LGBT Youth Scotland: it was founded in 2003 by a man named James Rennie. James Rennie is currently in prison for the most heinous crimes imaginable. Whatever you're thinking, times it by 10. It's grim. He led a ring of men in Scotland and worldwide who shared images as well of their abusive acts. The Scottish Government have continued to fund this organisation to this day with more and more money every single year. They now operate something called the LGBT Youth Scotland Charter Scheme. The aim of this scheme is firstly to target schools, get into them and change and create policy around gender ideology. This means that they can change the ethos of the school by creating documents that influence how kids are treated. They evaluate if schools have put this into practice, if toilets are made to be gender neutral or mixed gender. This, for example, creates facilities, toilets that are not single-sex spaces. They provide training to staff, often in in-service days, around transgender pupils. Unsurprisingly, their original document about transgender pupils in school was found unlawful by the Scottish Government. For the record, while I'm here, there's no such thing as a trans child. It is the creation of adults with issues who wish to validate their own illness through young people. This was evident most recently in files I looked at from a school in Fife. They had two men who said that they were women in the school talking to first years about puberty blockers. In the past 2 years, 5,445 teachers in 158 schools have been trained by LGBT Youth Scotland. Glasgow alone accounts for 45 of these schools, 12 of which are shockingly primary schools. The effects of these organisations and their influence is quite clear, and I think it's important for us to understand the harm caused by this. In an FOI bundle I was recently sent, I came across feedback that highlighted some of the concerns of pupils. I want to read a couple of responses of pupils, and please bear in mind that these pupils are in first year of high school. A young person says, "If you disagree with LGBT issues, you're looked at very differently. They shove it in your face and are making it out that if you're not LGBT supportive, you do not fit in. Why is there no normal club? There is something about LGBT stuff nearly every day in the bulletin. The whole school is decorated in LGBT signs, and there is nothing about saying it's okay to be straight." Another people said they shove it in your face and make us dread the topic. These are first year high school students dreading being force-fed ideology in our schools. This has been paid for by us, without our consent and behind closed doors. I spoke to a parent recently whose 13-year-old son said he didn't want to participate in this. His father was later shocked to find out that there was a mention of possible homophobia on his son's report card. We aren't teaching kids how to think, but what to think. Another key issue with the schools is that they feed pupils into the LGBT Youth Scotland youth groups, which happen in evenings. These, as many of you know, are entirely inappropriate. Age categories were 10 years old to 22-year-old in North Lanarkshire, 13 to 25 in Glasgow, until we all called it out. This organisation that's in your schools right now is not fit for purpose. Finally, a message to the people who support this gumph. All I say is the time of your child's sexualisation and ideological activism in schools is over. The parents, grandparents and those that care about safeguarding have had enough. Those who are here today in Glasgow and in Scotland and the UK and worldwide have had enough. Write to your MSPs, your MPs, your councillors and keep their response for when we destroy this insidious ideology. We will remember who stood with children and more importantly who did not. Start your own parents groups. I know there are people here today who will help. I know there are people here today who'd be willing to give advice in doing this. I finally want to demand that the Glasgow City Council listen to us. I want them to make every parent aware of exactly what their children will be subjected to in detail, and I want parents to feel empowered to say no. Thank you.